Attention passionate Atlanta, Falcons fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC South and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Atlanta Falcons' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Atlanta Falcons fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Atlanta, FALCONS FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. I don't think I need to tell you that the NFL landscape is always shifting, always evolving, and right now, something major is happening in the NFC South that could completely change the power dynamics within the division. And if you've been paying close attention, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The recent trade news involving A.J. Brown has sent shockwaves through the league, and for Falcons fans, this could be a game changer. It's a story that's been developing over the past few weeks, and the implications are enormous, especially for Atlanta, who is looking to climb back into serious playoff contention after a somewhat rocky start to the season. Let's back up a little and analyze what's going on. A.J. Brown, the star wide receiver from the Philadelphia Eagles, has been the subject of much speculation lately. Now he's already achieved the ultimate NFL goal, winning a Super Bowl with the Eagles, and at 28 years old, he's entering that critical phase of his career where he's eyeing a big contract, a new deal that will define his future. But here's the catch. His recent performances have been a bit inconsistent, especially early in the season. In Week 1, Brown was pretty much a non-factor, catching just 8 yards. Week 2 wasn't much better, with only 27 yards. It wasn't until Week 3 that Brown finally started to show some signs of life, racking up 109 yards, a performance that fans and analysts alike are hoping signals a return to form. Now, there's a lot of talk about whether the Eagles should consider trading him, and honestly, that's not just speculation anymore. The Eagles, with younger receivers like Devonta Smith and Jahan Dotson, are building for the future. And with Brown already at 28, the team might see an opportunity to get ahead of the curve, especially if his production doesn't meet expectations. There's a narrative starting to emerge that Howie Roseman, the general manager, might be exploring options, and trading A.J. Brown could be on the table. It's a bold move, but in the NFL, bold moves are often the ones that define seasons. And here's where it gets interesting for us Falcons fans. If the Eagles indeed decide to put A.J. Brown on the trade block, Atlanta should be front and center, knocking on their door. We've seen what A.J. Brown can bring to the table, over 768 yards and 55 touchdowns in his 7 seasons so far. That kind of production is exactly what Atlanta needs to accelerate their rebuild, especially at a time when their offense is looking for more explosiveness. Imagine a receiving core led by Bijan Robinson, Drake London, and Kyle Pitts, but complemented perfectly by a veteran like Brown who can be the go-to guy in critical situations. And let's talk about the Falcons' current state. They're 1-2 after a tough start. Losing to the Carolina Panthers 30-0 in Week 3 was a real wake-up call. It's clear that the offense, especially the passing game, needs a boost. Michael Penix Jr., the quarterback, has shown flashes of brilliance, but he's also struggled at times, completing only 18 of 36 passes for 172 yards, with no touchdowns and 2 interceptions in that game. That's not the kind of performance you want from your franchise QB, but it's also not entirely his fault. Penix Jr. is doing his part, but he's missing a reliable outside weapon, someone he can trust to make plays when it counts. Right now, Bijan Robinson leads the team with 164 receiving yards, which is impressive for a rookie, but if the Falcons want to take a real step forward, they need more firepower on the outside. Drake London is right behind with 159 yards, and Kyle Pitts has 135 yards, but beyond those three, the production drops off sharply. Ray McLeod has only 71 yards, and that's not enough to keep defenses honest. That's why the idea of trading for A.J. Brown makes a lot of sense. With his experience, his ability to create separation, and his knack for making clutch catches, Brown could be the missing piece that takes Atlanta's offense to the next level. Picture it, Penix Jr. with a proven veteran on the outside who can be relied upon in critical moments. Brown's route running, his ability to gain yards after the catch, and his knack for delivering in clutch moments. These are qualities that could instantly elevate Atlanta's offensive scheme. Plus, his presence could help Penix Jr. develop further as a passer, giving him that security blanket he desperately needs outside of his existing targets. The chemistry between a quarterback and receiver is crucial, and bringing in a seasoned player like Brown could help forge that bond faster, leading to more consistent offensive production. But let's not forget, this isn't just about adding talent, it's also about the strategic move for the Falcons. With the NFC South being so unpredictable this season, teams like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, New Orleans Saints, and even Carolina Panthers making moves, Atlanta needs to be aggressive if they want to carve out their place at the top. The division is wide open, and adding a player of Brown's caliber could be the catalyst for a playoff push. It's not just about winning a few games here and there. It's about establishing dominance, about sending a message to the rest of the league that the Falcons are serious contenders. Now, I know some fans might be wondering about the logistics. What would it take to acquire A.J. Brown? Well, the Eagles are in a tricky spot. They already have a talented roster, and if Brown's recent performances don't meet expectations, they might look to capitalize on his value before his contract negotiations become a distraction. Atlanta, with its ample draft capital and young players, could make a compelling offer. A trade that includes some draft picks or young talent could be enough to get the deal done. And honestly, for the Falcons, this isn't just about filling a need. This is about making a statement. It's about showing that they're ready to compete now, not just in a couple of years. Of course, there are always concerns. Will A.J. Brown fit into Atlanta's offensive system? Can the Falcons afford his contract? And what about the chemistry? Will he mesh well with Penix Jr. and the rest of the team? These are all valid questions, but given Brown's track record and his ability to adapt, I believe he could be a perfect fit. His leadership and experience would be invaluable for a team looking to make a leap. And let's be honest, Falcon fans, we're hungry for wins. We want to see this team grow, and acquiring a star like A.J. Brown could be that next big step. So, the big picture here is that Atlanta has an incredible opportunity to shake things up in the NFC South. If they can pull off a trade for A.J. Brown, it could be the move that transforms their offense overnight. It's about adding a proven playmaker, a guy who has the experience, the skills, and the mindset to lead at the highest level. And for the Falcons, this is about seizing the moment, about showing the league that they're back in the conversation, ready to contend for a playoff spot and perhaps even more. And now, Atlanta Falcons fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think A.J. Brown is the missing piece for Atlanta? Would you trade for him if the opportunity arises? Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Falcons. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, analysis, and all the latest news. So stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's keep this Falcons community alive and thriving. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Falcons!